Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Citizens of Lorcana podcast, a podcast where we invite you to be a part of their world. Today, we're talking all about the North America Continentals and a stealth digital client announcement, maybe. So, without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome to another week. Last week we finished our rankings for the most iconic Lorcana cards. So if you haven't had a chance to go back, we took 3 episodes to rank the most iconic cards in each color at each cost. I pretty much got all of them right. James are debatable, so if you haven't had a chance to listen, go back and make sure to check those out. But today, by the time this episode drops, James and I will be getting ready to play in the North America. James will be getting ready to play in the North America LCQ. I'll be getting ready to drive down to California. So, James, how are you feeling? Like on a scale of Gantu to Diablo, how locked in are you?
Locked in, like as in my deck. I am Diablo locked in. As far as how I'm feeling, probably somewhere around. Ooh, I got to figure this one out here. Jafar, probably Jafar. Could go either way. If we're talking legendaries, because I'm all hyped up, but also I could fail miserably.
But like you've been practicing, you've been putting in the work, like
yeah. I've been practicing a lot. I actually have had 2 coaching sessions.
Oh, that's right.
I got a coach. So I had 2 coaching sessions. I picked my deck colors. Actually, I think at least a month ago.
Oh, nice.
And I've just been like playing different tech cards, changing numbers. If you would see my Dreamborn, you would see that I am on version 18 of my deck over the last 4 weeks.
You are on version 18 of your deck. I can't even imagine. I would be making so many I'd be playing mind games at that point. I think, I added this card, but was it better 3 versions ago? Maybe I should tweak this. I just played a really good Amber Sapphire deck, just throwing something out there. Maybe I should need to add this little tech because I think it's going to be meta. Like, what's that whole process been like?
It's mainly just been trying the things that you see other people trying, or just, having ideas and putting a card in or 2 cards in, or like one time I thought maybe I'd try this one card, and so I threw 4 of them in on top of my 60 cards just to see, just so I had 4 of them in there so I would see them consistently and see how it worked. It was a card that replaced itself, so I wasn't worried about too much about running out of stuff and having it be a dead card in my hand, because I could just play it and it replaced it, and then I would have another card in my hand instead of that. So I went through that for like a couple of days, and just felt like, when you're running that, you leave the deck as it is for the rest of it, and you try that, and that card felt like it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So I took it back out, and then I switched another card in, and it's basically, you have a core that you think is going to work, and that core could be anywhere from 30 to 58 cards. And so that's how much wiggle room you have. So it was basically wiggle room of, do I play 4 of this? Do I play 3? Do I put in a 1 of? Do I put in a 2 of? Just all of those little decisions and little meters going up and down on the different cards until I think I've arrived at what I want to play, and I think I'm going to be comfortable with it. And it's a deck that I've played in the past, which I hope doesn't reveal too many things about it. But I have played multiple decks in the past, so you can't catch me on which one it is.
So you were talking about a card that replaces itself, not really doing what you want it to do. This might be a hot take, but that's how I feel about Sail the Azurite Sea. Like, I don't love that card. Whenever I see it, I usually just end up inking it.
But, it's so good, though. It is so good.
So you were talking about coach. Sorry, what?
The Azurite Sea is so good, though, in most circumstances in that deck, because it lets you, the extra ink.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It can be. I've seen people ink it plenty of times. So
So I want to get back to something else you talked about. You talked about getting coaching.
Mhm.
You don't have to say who you coach because it seems like most people just coach on one deck. So
Right.
if you say who was coaching you, people are going to have an idea of what deck you're running. But uh, talk to me about what that was like.
Well, it was really cool. I did 2 sessions. One just kind of a general like talking about the game and specific matchups and my history in the game, and spending an hour doing that. And then the second one was spending an hour going over. I recorded some gameplay, and it was very helpful having been on stream at Kingslayer last week, so I was able to send the link to that game and use that as well. Um, and just going over the mulligan decisions and the lines of play that opened up, and where decision points that I made that I failed to find the right line, or I did find the right line, and pointing out the successes and the failures basically of what you're doing, and learning how to play better, how to play more focused on the game, and pay attention to the board state at all times, and knowing when to do things, even though like every single thing is like situational. It's always so situational because the board state can be anything, but there are certain things that you can say, well, when you're doing this, you basically should do this every time you hit like turn 3, let's say, or turn 4, or when you see this on board, this is what you do. There are certain things where yeah, you can tell them what to do, but most of it's just like you have to keep in mind that it's just all based on what the board state is at the time, so you have to pay attention to that.
So was it worthwhile?
I think so, yeah, because before I did it, I was actually a little freaked out, and kind of spazzing about my deck choice and whether I made the right choice. But then after coaching, it settled me down. One of the things that they said was, they asked me like, "Hey, so what's your history?" And I told them, like this is my first TCG, and he's like, "Have you won? What's your DLC and
This
set
person doesn't listen to the podcast, do they?
What's your history in competitive?" And I said, well, I've played in multiple DLCs, and this was my ranking in them, and I've played in multiple set champs. And I told him, like, I won one, I top 4'd one, I top 8'd another. And he's like, you know what, if you have won a set champ, you can 5-0 an LCQ. It's like it's the same thing basically. He's like, so if you've done it, you can do it again.
Boom.
Yeah, and that really settled me down, just like knowing that I've experienced what this is going to be, essentially, and knowing that I can just go into it and just try and remove the stress part of it, which is very difficult, and just focus on the game part of it.
So was it more like the mental side of the game, or did you find a lot of benefit in like the gameplay instruction too, or did you find that you're mostly piloting your deck correctly? You just needed to learn to focus your mind better. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so it was only that was really the main mental part of it, was like knowing that you can do this. The rest of it was mostly focused on how to play, lines of play, board states, mulligans, all of the technical aspects of it was a majority of it, which I think is what I really needed. If I needed more mental help, I probably would have asked more questions about things related to that. But I was mainly asking questions about gameplay, and they pointed out mainly at the end. The main thing they pointed out was that my mulligans looked pretty good. I was mainly making good to the best choice most of the time, and that I just needed to, like I said, focus more on the board state at the time and the upcoming turn or two, knowing what can happen and what I have, and making sure I'm making the right decision based on that information, and not just playing it because, oh, I know this card is what I should play on turn 3, and maybe not. Maybe something else is the right decision on turn 3 based on what the board looks like, and just being able to focus on that, and not like plan your turn ahead of time and then do it no matter what card you draw, no matter what happens with what your opponent did. Relook at the board state.
Yeah. Well, I, thanks for letting me take a deep dive on that. We'll have to make sure after LCQ and Continentals are over to give a shout out to your coach if
Yep.
you want to. So, but yeah, man, crazy. This Friday.
2 days from recording this. Geez, in 48 hours, I'll know whether or not I'm playing the next day. That's crazy.
You got this.
It's so crazy.
You got citizens of Lorcana Nation rooting for you.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm trying to make it fun, at least. I'm trying not to lean into the stress side of it, but I'm definitely feeling the stress.
Absolutely.
So, all right, enough about me. Let's talk about you. You said that you're actually getting ready to head down to the Continentals, which means you got a ticket, and you didn't have one when they went on sale, so you got one.
I got a ticket. A ticket. Yes. Very unexpected. Super grateful. Obviously, I'm not participating in the LCQ because I'm not being down there on Friday. But I'll be honest, I didn't really love my chances participating in an LCQ anyway. So I really just wanted to go down for the fun part of it. I
think it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can't wait to see everybody. The only worry that I have is there's so many people I want to say hi to, and there's so little time.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to have a decent amount of time to hang out, because I know that especially on Sunday, a lot of people are just going to be hanging out watching the finals, and that'll be a good time to just kind of mingle and talk to people and say hi to a lot of people that are hanging out watching the finals.
Yeah, but I'm super excited because
let me rephrase. It'll be good for you because you'll be watching me in the finals, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You have to be confident. Confidence.
I'm counting on it. Don't let me down.
Don't put that pressure on me. I can do it to myself, but do not put that pressure on me.
No, I think regardless of what happens, it's really cool that I've been able to watch you on this journey from where we were at the beginning to where we are now. I mean, I know you're not in the North America Continentals just yet, but the fact that I think you have a legit shot to make a run for it. I mean, but even worst case scenario, even if you don't, at least you tried and you gave it your all. And that's more than I can say. I've just been putzing around.
That's okay. Putzing around is a valid choice in a TCG. Just having fun.
Yeah. So either way, just know, I think it's super cool what you've done. So
thank you.
But yeah, man, I thought that I was gonna just have to go down there because I haven't really seen a lot of people say they got off the wait list for attendee tickets. Normally you see all those types of posts on Twitter as it gets closer. So I was afraid I was going to go down there and just be standing outside. Yeah, like what we talked about last time. We'll sign Flounder for promos. I would still make that trade.
Yeah, right. Sign as many Flounders as you can.
Okay, so I know last time one of the things that you said was that the meta was wide open this set. And I think that might be one of the things leading to your stress. But just tell me, what are you expecting to see down there? What are the, I know it's wide open, but what are the major things you're expecting to see?
Well, it was weird because, again, we had almost half or around half of the people attending locals on Monday night have LCQ tickets. And the upswing in Amber Steel was noticeable with the people that were playing that on Monday night. There was a lot of that. There was a few Ruby Sapphires, some Ruby Amethyst, some Emerald Amethyst. There's Blurple. I mean, there was a little bit of everything was showing up, and I think that's what we're going to see is a little bit of everything. Some people are going to bring something that they homebrewed, that they hope is that they've hopefully tested to death to be anti-meta, to go through a bunch and surprise a bunch of people. Hopefully we see stuff like that, and hopefully I don't see stuff like that totally ruins my day. But I'm expecting
that sugar.
Oh, the Sugar Rush.
Yeah, I want to see that Sugar Rush deck you were telling me about last time.
Yeah, Now another one I faced was like actually a Sapphire Emerald deck that was shocking. And remember, we talked about it in our rankings. They actually played the discard all cards card against me, the 7-drop uninkable action.
How many cards did you have in hand?
Like 7. I had drawn a bunch of cards late game. I was like multiple friends.
Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, I was playing that. It was like, oh, come on. But yeah, so just doing that, and that was, I don't know, that was a little while ago, but just having that played is like, I really hope I don't see that in an LCQ. Unless I have like 2 cards in hand.
Here's the thing, like from when I went to DLC, you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, I remember Mark Wooden said that all he saw was Amber, Still Song, and then Ruby Sapphire. And I saw 3 Ruby Sapphires out of 9 rounds, but those are the only 3 like real meta decks that I saw. I mean, I saw Amethyst, Emerald, but it was just a completely different experience from what he had.
Yep, that's the fun of it, is the variance. I could see 0 Amber Steel all day, or I could see all Amber Steel. Who knows? Who knows? But I expect that we're going to see a significant amount of Amber Steel, Ruby Sapphire, Ruby Amethyst, and I think second tier in numbers will be Emerald Amethyst, Amethyst Steel. And then I think after that, I think we're getting down to the Blurples and what is the Blue Steel, things like that. I think we're going to see third most.
No Emerald Steel this
Emerald Steel, I think, is actually going to be probably in the second or third tier. I think there will be a decent amount of people bringing it because it still can be a very good deck. It is just, you have to get so much working, and you have to have, the best opening hand in order for it to really work these days. So there's just too many answers to it now.
Crazy. So, all right. So you're staring this. Well, you kind of answered this already, but you're staring the single elimination LCQ in the face right now. How's your stress doing?
It feels like it's not too bad, but I think it's mostly like subconscious stress and internal stress, and my body's like, hey, your stomach is hurting right now, and hey, you couldn't sleep last night, things like that, that I'm not really like thinking about it, but I think it's still having an effect.
Yeah, well, I think that's where the benefit of having a coach came in.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so now, I mean, I'm gonna probably try and play a few games tonight after we record. Either that, or I'm just going to go to bed and get some sleep, because sleep is just as good as practice, because you need sleep in order to be able to function each day.
If that's the case, I'd be a champ at Lorcana. Not really. Maybe that's why I'm not good at Lorcana. What was I going to say? Are you, when you said you're going to maybe play another game, are you playing on Pixelborn Connect? Are you playing with Beth? What are you doing?
Played a few with Beth. Sometimes I connect with people on Discord to do some just friends matches on over Discord, things like that.
Gotcha. Well, it won't be with me because I'm just putzing around.
And it's bedtime as soon as we're done too.
I know. I'm an old man.
All right. So actually, so obviously there's not just the championship happening this weekend. There's a whole event going on. And one of those things that's happening is all these side events. So the side events went up for sale this week, and we both got some. What did you grab?
Here's the thing. I originally was just going to be like, I'm just going to do on-demand events because I'm lazy like that. I putz around. And then I was talking to, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Katie from Lore Keepers Inn. She's like, no, you need to sign up for events because then you get a guaranteed promo.
Yeah.
It's Heath from Be Our Guest Lorcana. So, and he signed up for like 8 events, but I signed up for 2 events. I signed up for one each day. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Like, I wanted to do one event each day
Right.
because I wanted to do something, but I also like want to keep my options open. I want to see people. I want to talk to people.
And you can
But
do on demand whenever you want.
exactly. But Saturday, I'm going to be doing a draft for Azurite C. And then Sunday, I will be doing a multiplayer sealed for Azurite C. So I have to say, like, I'm super excited to see multiplayer at
Yeah.
an additional event. Like, I know they've been there before, but I'm really excited to participate in one. I'm really curious to see how it turns out. Yeah, like I need to brush up on my sealed though.
Yeah. And sealed multiplayer is going to be a little bit different too.
Yeah. But I think like I said, I think it's really cool that they're doing multiplayer. I can't wait to do that. Actually, that's probably what I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
But speaking of Heath, he signed up for like 8 side events.
Did he
And
sign up for?
James,
Did he sign up for some? Like, I think he's in the LCQ, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
I thought he was, because if he did the same thing I did, I actually signed up for one that actually starts during the LCQ in case I do bomb out. I have something to go do to drown my sorrows in.
No, you better burn those bridges, James. But speaking of which, what did you sign up for?
So that one that I'm talking about is the Friday 12:30 sealed chaos draft event, where you get 1 pack from each of the first 6 sets, and you build a deck out of that. I'm doing the Saturday 4 p.m. first chapter sealed. Still hunting for that Elsa. And then on Sunday, I signed up for 2, the team sealed 2v2 chaos, which again is 1 pack from each set. And you and your partner both build your own decks, and then you play a 2v2 against someone where, you're the A and B position, and you fight it out and see who wins.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want me on your team, James.
I'm probably gonna play with Eric. Eric's probably we're gonna probably play together. So
that sounds like so much fun, though.
It
really
does, and it's so nice that, again, like you said, the multiplayer being promoted up to like one of the major events with sealed and everything, and they're having, I think, a few different multiplayer things. They're even doing 3 versus 3 events, 3v3.
That's awesome.
And then the final one I have is the 4 p.m. Rise of the Floodborn sealed.
Mm.
So I'll be playing all weekend. It doesn't matter. And then the other thing that we have to talk about is the next day. So yesterday, when we're recording this, all of the artists and Pack Rush and Dev meet and greets all went up for sale, air quotes, because they were free. Did you grab any of those?
So I signed up for them, but if you sign up for them, does that mean you got them? Or did I have to?
If you got an email saying this is your thing, then yes, unless it's a lottery, and then you'll find out on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And again, this is all thanks to you. But let's see. Okay. So I've got one here for Whitney Pollitt.
Nice.
But I think it's during one of my events. Anyway.
It's a nice range of time, and also, this may or may not work depending on how busy they are. It was always factored on how busy they were. But if you had an event that you couldn't make it to and you went by when they weren't busy, they sometimes let people in.
Okay. So I got a lottery entry for Steve and Shane. Feels weird because I talk to those guys all the time anyway, so it feels weird to be in a lottery. Got a lottery for Ryan. I've got a Pack Rush with a game dev.
Yep.
And nice. looks like that's it.
So because the events I signed up for were all later in the day, and especially on Saturday, the only thing I have is the 4 p.m. first chapter sealed on Saturday. So everything I signed up for was on Saturday early in the day, so I can get there early and do all of these artist signings, and if I, and the pack rushes. So again, I got all 3 artists signings throughout the morning, and then I got the pack rush with the dev like you did, and then I got the lottery entries for the pack rushes with Shane, Steve, and Ryan. So if I win those, I have those as well. But those are like early afternoon on Saturday. So I timed it all. I worked it out to where I could actually fit everything in my schedule, even if I win everything. Where there's like overlapping times where I can just move from one to the other to the next, like all morning long.
You're like, it's like you've done this before.
Look, I had this envelope here sitting at my desk, and I wrote down my schedule, and it's all this chicken scratch of. I wrote down my schedule of sealed events, so I knew what time I had available to fill in when the sale went live.
What was his name? Manticore is doing the TCG booking, getting people to rent like Airbnbs for tournaments.
Right.
Maybe you should do like TCG event planning and charge people to plan their event.
How to get your maximum amount of time out of every event so you can fit in the most stuff possible.
You should do it. You should build a software, that just maximizes that stuff.
There you go. Just program my brain into a computer.
That's really cool, though. Yeah. I because you heard me. Well, I think I'll have an event during that time.
Yeah. Now the fun thing is that all of this goes away if I win my LCQ pod. Because then
when you win,
then I'll be busy all day Saturday, and then of course I would have a chance to do things on Sunday. So I may have to refund all of these things.
Well, what you can do is check in for the Continentals. I'll meet you somewhere. We'll swap badges. So you can wear mine, and I will wear yours, and I will take care of that for you.
Nice. There you go.
Not really. I'm just teasing. If you're listening, Ravensburger, I'm just teasing. I would never do that. Nor should you if you're listening.
Yeah. Listeners. Yeah. None of that.
But I am really excited. I'm excited to get down there and see everybody. It feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like it was forever away, and now it's 2 days away.
Yeah, that's true. Ugh. Okay, so anything else we wanted to talk about the as far as the LCQs and Continent? I feel like we haven't even talked about the Continentals at all.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because unless something got announced like while we've been recording or earlier today when I was eating dinner, we don't even know like the casting team. We know it's going to be up on Twitch like usual for the whole weekend. For both days, not the whole weekend. They don't do the LCQ.
I'm using my prediction powers here. It's going to be Brandon, Liam, and Rebecca, and maybe Brendan and Tannen.
You think? You think?
Maybe. Survey says. But okay, well, that's something we should talk about. What kind of announcements, or are we hoping for any kind of announcements? The EU one, they announced, Arcadia Island and Jafar's Reign. What are we hoping for from this one?
So I will predict, not hope for, but I predict that we will get the Arcasia's Island story trailer during the stream. And I predict that we will get
No. My turn to predict.
Oh, go ahead, predict.
I will predict that we get the date of Worlds.
Oh, interesting. Nice. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Oh. All right.
No, the next one is I think we will actually get up to 10 cards revealed from Arcasia's Island.
That's where my mind would have went next too.
So I think that's the thing is I think we're going to get some new set stuff coming because it's been too long since, the normal release pattern is we would already know like 20 cards from the next set at this point in the cycle.
I can't tell you how many people were messaging me before Christmas. They're like, are we going to get any spoilers before the holidays?
Nah, everybody's on vacation. Office is closed. Everybody is at home. Come on, let them take a break for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hopefully we'll see that Bolt and if the Bolt, well, I don't know. If Bolt is multicolored,
everyone's going to melt down.
Yeah. So they may or may not if release Bolt, but we'll see.
We shall see. No, but that's what I think. I think we're gonna get a story trailer and cards.
Yeah. Uh, like I said, I think we'll get announcement about Worlds and what I'd like. No, that's it.
That's it.
Because I was thinking it would be nice to learn more about the next set of organized play, but that's probably something they'll announce at Worlds. So
Right.
okay, so there's probably only a handful of things that could take our attention away from the excitement about the LCQ and Continentals. But on Tuesday, Kawa from Podcana shared some receipts on Twitter. I'm gonna pull it up here. Basically saying, without saying, that Ravensburger is maybe potentially possibly looking to build a digital client for Lorcana. Now, okay, we have to preface this by saying this is all speculation.
Yeah.
And this is probably just, us hoping beyond hope here. But let's take a look at this. So this is the tweet. Kawa says, "Is it finally happening? A man can dream, right? Potential Disney Lorcana TCG digital client in the works." So what leads him to believe this? Well, let's take a look at this first picture right here. This is a job posting from Ravensburger, North America. It's a hybrid position, so they want you in Seattle half the time and not the other half the time. But let's look at the stuff that's highlighted here. So they're looking for somebody with 10 plus years of hands-on experience of game development, including full life cycle experience developing and operating mobile and or PC games. Yeah. Significant experience developing and or producing digital TCGs. I mean, I don't know of any other TCGs that Ravensburger is putting out right now. Who knows? Maybe there's something else. Passion for TCGs and an affinity for Disney. Existing Disney Lorcana TCG knowledge or an eagerness to deeply learn. Strong collaborator. Okay. So, and then there's this. This was on LinkedIn from Calvin Kim, senior producer at Disney Lorcana Ravensburger. Hello, at Ravensburger North America Incorporated, we are seeking executive producer to oversee the development of digital games in collaboration with external game studios. Interested? Please check out the job description. Cheers. All right, James. What do you think of that? Are we far off base here? Is there smoke? Is there smoke to this fire?
I think so. I think that we are going to be seeing some form of, if they can get it made, if it's up to their standards, I'm guessing we're going to see a digital version of Lorcana in the future sooner than we might have thought, but also not anytime soon.
I'm no expert in developing, and I know like Paul. Okay. And here's the other thing. How funny is this? That we just talked about Pixelborn on our last podcast, and now here we are talking about. I'm telling you, they're listening to us, James. But yeah, I'm no developer. Like Pavel spoiled us with like it's truly remarkable what he's able to do with Pixelborn. But I don't know how long it would take to develop something that was nice and polished, like Magic the Gathering Arena or Pokemon Pocket TCG or even Pokemon TCG on live, whatever. So what are you thinking? A year minimum? 2 years probably?
Yeah, and it all depends on since they're looking for an executive producer to help manage things, that means doesn't mean that they're just starting. It means they may have already been in production and they're just looking for someone to help like corral the whole thing.
Now you're giving me extra hope, James.
So I don't know, based on that, how long that we have, because we don't know how long or if they've even been working on it already. Now, the interesting thing is that working with outside studios, which means that they're actually having someone else besides, in-house produce it, which obviously is smart, because if, that's what Disney does a lot with some of their games, is why try and like hire every single person you need for a project, just farm it out for the pieces that are very skill intensive that we don't have the skills.
Yeah.
And so that's I'm guessing that's what specific portions of probably like the gameplay and things like that, because I mean it's not that hard, and they've already built an app to show off the cards. Now they need something to where you can actually use them, and that is where the skills come in, and they have they need a lot more work done on that.
Well, and the the app that they have designed is a very good app. Like as far as TCG goes, the only complaint is I haven't checked in a while, but the stupid plus and minus arrows for the lore counter, such small buttons. If they haven't fixed those, you guys should make them larger. I'm just saying. Now,
Which
if they
buttons?
if they update that before next podcast, then I'll know they're listening.
Which buttons?
The lore counter.
They did fix those.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
they
I
fixed those
said.
in the last update months ago. You can
Like I
tap
said.
anywhere on the side of the screen to do the plus minus now.
So I always used like third party
Right.
app whenever I used lore counters. So it's been a long time since I tested out that feature. But I'm opening it up here right now. Let's check this out. Oh yeah. That's huge. I may have used this whole time had that been the case.
Yep.
So kudos. So playing hypotheticals here. Do you think the game would be a 1-for-1 recreation like the Pokemon TCG Live? Or do you think it would be a slimmed down version like Pokemon TCG Pocket or Marvel Snap, like a streamlined 5-minute game type situation?
I mean, that's really hard to say. I mean, because the Marvel Snap is its own thing. I don't know if we could compare to that. So the Pokemon TCG Pocket, I think, is a good example. We've had Pokemon having the full version out many years before they did the slimmed down version. Now, maybe they take that information and say, look, the slimmed down version is the one that's super popular. Let's make a version like that first instead of second. But that's, I don't know. It's really hard to say.
The other argument that I have for that is that one of the main stated goals for Lorcana is that they want to appeal to the social player, the casual player, people like me. And if I have a way to play the game in like a 5-minute round, I would eat that. I would gobble that up. Especially, you could do it all the time, like all day, every day. And the thing about like Pokemon Pocket TCG, there's really no, like, people have created tournaments, but within the app itself, there's no like official support for tournaments or stuff like that. So
Right.
if they are really wanting to cater to the social crowd, plus it's been a huge moneymaker for the Pokemon, and I think it's DNA that makes it.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's the kind of, if you're looking at that, that's kind of the thing that would be a good idea. But look at Magic the Gathering Arena, and that's like, essentially a full version of the game, and that does well.
I would think that they would do a 1-for-1 recreation. Like in my mind, that's where I think they would go.
I think so too. And the thing is, though, is that it's going to take a while. So if I think the development cycle, I think we're looking at 2 to 3 years to make it. So again, based on whether they've started or not, means that's how far out I think we are from seeing it. I think we may see it around the time of Pixar coming to the game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That would be like the perfect time to bring it in.
But the thing is that Pixar is going to make such a splash. Do you want it to come in when that comes in, or right before, or right after?
If it were me, I'd say at the same time, because you're going to be bringing in potentially a lot of new players, and it's like the perfect onboarding experience to get the new players and the old players, all playing this new thing.
Right. All right. There you go.
I would just hope that if they do like the Pokemon Live, that they include the barcodes that you can scan, because that's like the best thing.
I really hope that they do that. I mean, it's the game. Obviously, buying it physically is an expensive prospect, and having to recreate everything in the digital app would be cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So having those digital codes to help supplement while you probably spend money still on the digital version, I think would be a long way to go to help entice many more people to play. I know I would do more than just like slowly collect cards in whatever free version they offer. If they included the QR codes for packs in the packs starting when the game is released.
What I hope they don't do is the gotcha model.
Yeah.
As much as I've enjoyed playing the Pokemon Pocket TCG, that was like the most frustrating part is the fact that if I want a specific card, I either have to pray to Arceus that I get the right card, or I have to spend $1 bajillion to get enough points to craft it.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
or eventually someday trade whenever that's going to open.
Allegedly this month.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Nice.
So, but even then, like, what limitations are they going to have on trading? I have a feeling they're not going to let you trade anything like above a 4 diamond rarity,
just so that kids don't get ripped off.
Just like yeah, and so that people don't abuse it by like creating alt accounts and just trading with themselves.
Right. Yeah. That would happen. Okay, so the other hot topic that has been going around for the last couple of weeks is the pack opening experience, which is something that I'm not sure we even considered talking about when over the last year when we first started this, but now it is.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit, but this is basically what entices people to open packs, what makes them buy more sealed product than they maybe normally would, or to entice them to buy sealed product in the first place for people who buy just buy singles right now. And what is something that Lorcana can do to help grow that market? And the reason why is because people saw photos of targets where there was 15 Azurite Sea troves sitting on the shelf with a bunch of packs.
Thought that was my photo.
Yeah, where that was the only thing on the shelf besides a few stragglers of random
Yu-Gi-Oh.
things.
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh, but Pokemon was gone. And I mean, yeah, you can look at that, but come on. I mean, right now Pokemon is at another heyday of purchasing because of Pocket TCG. I mean, and also the sets they're releasing are really good sets. So a lot more people are into it again, and that brings again all of the resellers who buy it all up and all of that kind of stuff. But how can Lorcana hit some of that market where people are at the stores buying the product off the shelves when they don't really need to? And I think what it really boils down to is, giving people a reason to open packs. And that reason right now is Enchanteds. And that's it. And those are one every 100 packs.
I was listening to White Breezy talk about this in Lorcana After Dark, and he's like, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I enjoy watching people open packs because, I mean, in Lorcana, we talked about this last time. It's very rare to have like maybe 5 cards in a set that are worth more than $5.
Yeah.
And then like 98% of the cards are worth less than $2.
Yeah.
And probably 95% are worth less than $1. So like when you open up a pack, it's just not super exciting unless you get one of those hits. And like you said, they're so far and in between.
And it's not necessarily, I mean, yes, we're talking about the monetary value, but it's the attachment of that monetary value to the card where when you see it, you're like, oh, that's like, that's a $10 card. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be like $100 card or whatever, like an Enchanted. It's just having a string of nice cards in almost every other pack where you're like, oh, that's a pretty card. Oh, that's a valuable card. Just being able to say that in every pack. And you can do that in Lorcana if you're really attuned to the art, where you really like the art. But the problem is that, like you said, most of those cards you're going to see more than once. And then that shine goes down because like, oh, look, this art is beautiful, but now I have 5 of them instead of, that one per box thing or that one every 6 packs thing of, like I'm going to get like this super shiny, really cool looking foil. Um, and alternate foils, alternate arts, having
Yeah.
all of those layers of things that would really help sell the packs.
Because I've listened to Benny and Charles. They do a pack opening every time on their Overexerted podcast. I'm just name dropping a lot of creators today, aren't I?
You are.
But it's almost gone sad listening to them open up packs now.
Well, yeah, because remember at the beginning it was like they named every card, right?
Yeah,
And now they're like they skip right to the rares and they just name, oh, this one, this one, this one, oh, bad pack. And
yeah.
then they're like, let me try another one. Instead of having one pack where they each open a pack and it's they go through the whole thing. Now there's just like they maybe do 2 or 3 packs because there's just like, oh, we've got all this, or like, oh, hey, finally an enchanted or whatever.
And I hate to keep going back to this but when the Pokemon 151 set came out last year, I took the bait. I'm nostalgia. I grew up on Pokemon Red and Blue, so I'm a Gen 1er, and I bought one of the ETBs. And I gotta say, like, out of the 10 packs, I got I did get a God pack, which was amazing. But then I also got I think I'd have to go back and look, but I got at least 3 other secret art rares, which in the scheme of things, these cards, most of them, like I got a secret art rare. I think it was a Mr. Mime. It was worth like $4.
Yeah.
But still, just the fact that I got this full art, Mr.
And they
Mime
look
card,
really nice, and they've got the foil borders, and they're just really nice looking cards.
It was exciting. Like, it was fun to open up those packs. And you're right. We did talk about this before. Like, this is something that they're going to evolve with over time. But I think people bringing up this experience at this point in the product life cycle means that we're ready to enter that phase.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're gonna. I'm hoping over maybe not this set, but very soon we start seeing like full arts at the very least. Alternate full arts that show up. One thing that I like that Star Wars Unlimited does is every card in the set, just like every card in Lorcana, there's a foil version. They do that as well. But then there's also every card has the chance to be the showcase, not the showcase version, but the hyperspace version, which is a full art version. So every card has a regular version, a full art version, and then a foil and a foil full art. And then they have their enchanteds, which are called showcases.
It's a good thing you didn't go into Star Wars Unlimited, James.
Right? That would have been horrible. But it's really nice, opening a Star Wars Unlimited pack and like randomly in the commons, there's a common hyperspace card.
Yeah.
And it's a full art. And you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. You may only get one every like 10 or 20 packs, but then add that on top of there being a foil in every pack and maybe another hyperspace from an uncommon or a rare slot. Or maybe in a pack you get a really cool foil rare or something like that. So you don't just have the same pack opening experience for 90% of the packs, and then those few packs that have like a foil legendary or an enchanted or something that are like your really big hits. Those appear like once a box if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And right now, not even that. So
yeah. Because I was telling you, like, I was looking at getting Azurite C cards off TCG Player. I could get all the commons through super rares for like $140. 4 copies of each card.
Yeah.
And that includes what's her face, Calhoun and Genie,
Yeah, which you take those out and it probably goes well under $100.
Yeah. So
yeah. So yeah, it's definitely that's what's affecting those singles prices is the fact that there's not a whole lot of thing to even that out. So there's just those cards and they're all cheap because people open enough product to make them cheap. And then there's the enchanteds and the few legendaries that are now the rare pieces, and that's it. The hits are so rare that those are the expensive cards and everything else is dirt cheap because people are just hunting for those few rare cards.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see a change this year.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, I think we beat that horse to death. I did before recording. I put out a little thing on Twitter asking for any last minute listener questions. I should have put a little more time into this, but we got 2. We got 2 responses. First one, maybe not so much serious. This is from Crookshanks, Win, Flounder, Enchanted. Next set is all about pets and sidekicks. So Enchanted, Flounder.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have to wait like a decade.
No, well, the digital game should be out by then, right?
Yeah, they could make. Yeah, if it's I mean, come on.
I don't know if I want to keep 10 years from now. I don't even want to think about that.
Okay, it's got to be somewhere in the 10-year plan, though.
Yeah,
there's like some notes scribbled on the side of the 10-year plan. Make sure we do a Flounder Enchanted before we hit the 10-year mark.
Oh man, okay. Hard to believe we're a year and a half into that already.
Yeah.
So this is from Katie, host of the Lore Keepers Inn. So she has 2 questions.
Uh-oh.
How excited are you to see me on a scale of 1 to 10, and why 10? It's 10. I say this all the time. Katie is like one of the funniest people in the Lorcana community. Like, I just resonate with her humor so much. I'm not somebody that normally laughs. I laugh on the inside, but her sense of humor is so funny, and I'm super excited to see her again. I met her down at D23. She came dressed up as Honey Wizard, and I mean, D23 was just so busy. It was basically like, hey, let's get a picture. See ya. But yeah, hopefully we get to hang a little bit.
Do I have to say 10 as well?
No, you don't have to say anything.
Oh, okay. No, I agree. Katie is a joy to listen to. I think you're right that her humor is very fun, and just her take on things is, both the serious and not serious sides of things. And I think it's a very good mix. So
you're right. She has a way of taking serious like subjects, but talking about them in a lighthearted way.
Yeah.
So
again, we're name dropping all the creators in this episode. But no, I mean, I will gladly say hello to Katie and not snub her or anything at the DLC. Or I'm sorry, at the Continentals.
So the second part of her question is, what deck do you hope wins Continentals? With a follow up of, is there any deck you hope doesn't win? So let's start with, is there a deck you hope wins?
Mine.
I like it. Yeah, of course. I gotta go with Blurple. I'm on the Blurple train.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I kind of feel like because it hasn't won anything, I don't think it has won anything over here. Has Amber Steel won a major event over here? Like one of the DLCs. I know it won the very first DLC in Lille.
Like, I know it's taking down a lot of the like CCSs, but
yeah.
I don't think it's ever won a DLC. I think you're right.
I don't think so. So I think something that hasn't won a previous DLC, I would like to see. So if that's Amber Steel, fine. If it's Blurple, fine. It doesn't bother me. I would very much like to not see Ruby Sapphire win.
Well, why all the people that play it on my Sapphire, James?
All the people that play it that are local know that I always point at them and like,
though, when I went to the Vegas DLC, I understand. Yes, that was miserable. Ruby Sapphire.
Playing against it?
Yeah, playing against it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not like Ruby Amethyst was no fun, and it's probably like a different, back in set 1, set 2.
Yeah.
But Ruby Sapphire just almost feels unfair because they can just like dig and dig and dig, and then they Hades you, and then they Medusa you, and then they Be Prepared you, like, and then they Lucky Dime you.
Yeah, I do love it when they brick though. That's always a joy because then it means I don't have to fight them for a half hour in a game.
But it's like the longer the game goes, the odds of them winning goes up exponentially.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, and that's just a personal preference. If it wins, it's fine. I mean, it is the best deck in the game right now. So if it wins, it's obviously that's its place. But I would prefer something that hasn't won to win.
I would have to go. I know it's not super prominent, but I hate this archetype, so I'm just gonna say it. Discard. I hope discard doesn't win.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that it will, but
I don't think so either.
yeah. Good question. Good question. Yep. So, anything else? Any ending segments? Any closing thought, James?
I don't know. I actually, one of the things I want to say is that it's been a joy playing at Kingslayer with all of the people who have LCQ tickets. It's a very good, very nice community. It's one of the things that I wasn't sure way back 2 years ago, starting this, when everyone's like, "Oh yeah, go into a game store, you'll meet friends and blah blah blah," and it's like I wasn't like super sure on that because I just wasn't sure, but it definitely is what has happened, and I really really hope at least one of the Kingslayers makes it into the championship. I hope it's me, but if it's not me, I hope there's at least one Kingslayer in the championship.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. This is unrelated, and this is going to date the podcast, but I don't know. We were talking about this off the air before we started, but as of the time of this recording, there's all these huge fires going on in California. Yeah. Everybody's getting ready to travel here for Continentals. Like, I know it's 30, 40 miles away, but this thing is out of control. So, I mean, be prepared for the smoke, and let's just hope that it doesn't affect. I don't think that it will, but lots of people, their homes have been destroyed. So just positive energy, positive vibes to everybody who.
Hopefully the fires get contained by the time you're listening to this. Everything's gotten much, much better than it is right now.
Yeah, and hopefully the Hollywood sign is still there. It's headed that direction. So
goodness.
Anyway, so okay. So if you liked what you heard, you can subscribe to us on this YouTube channel. You can follow us on the podcasting platform of your choice. You can find me on the website formerly known as Twitter at Citizens of Lorcana. And James, why don't you land this plane for us? Where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere online at Dan Regal, and I will actually post something for once if I make it into the championship. You will all know that I've made it. So I will post on social medias. I will be texting all my friends. So be aware. The volume of tweets and such will go 100% if I'm in.
We might have to do an emergency podcast if that happens.
Exactly.
Even if we just have to use our phones.
Exactly. We'll do it. Anyway, you can find me everywhere at Dan Regal, and thank you all so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.